Hi everyone, and welcome to another exciting installment of The Dungeon Crashers. I'm Guy.
And I'm Sapil. First off, let's hit that like and subscribe button. And let's get that bell on if you want to be notified when we post new videos. We wanted to apologize about last week we didn't post a video. I was sick, I had a really bad head cold, so we're here now and we're ready to go. Last time we said we'd be making an armor Artificer and a Rune Knight fighter. It took a while to get the combination right, so I hope you enjoy it. For race, we wanted something interesting that you don't see every day, so we went with Warforged. They get a +2 to Constitution and a +1 to any other ability score. We put it on Intelligence. You get Constructed Resilience, giving you advantage on saving throws against poison and resistance to poison damage. And you don't need to eat, drink, or breathe. You are immune to disease, and you don't need to sleep, and magic can't put you to sleep. You get Sentry's Rest. When you take a long rest, you must spend at least 6 hours of an active motionless state rather than sleeping, but it doesn't render you unconscious, allowing you to see and hear normally. Integrated Protection gives you a +1 to your armor class. You can don armor only with which you have proficiency. To don armor, you must incorporate it to your body over a course of an hour, during which you must remain in contact with the armor. To doff the armor, you must spend 1 hour removing it. You can rest while donning and doffing the armor in this way. While you live, the armor can't be removed from your body against your will. You get 1 skill and 1 tool proficiency of your choice. We took Insight and Alchemist tools. You also get Common and 1 other language of your choice.
And for ability scores, we went with the point buy system, putting a 10 on Strength, 14 on Dex, 14 on Constitution, making it 16 from the racial bonus, 15 on Intelligence, making it 16 with the racial bonus, 10 on Wisdom, and 8 on Charisma. And for background, we took Is It Engineer from the Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica. It gives you 2 skills, Arcana and Investigation, 1 tool proficiency in 1 language, either Draconic, Goblin, or Vidalcan. Now for features, you get Urban Infrastructure. You have a basic knowledge of the structure of buildings, including the stuff behind the walls. You can also find blueprints of a specific building in order to learn the details of its construction. Such blueprints might provide knowledge of entry points, structural weaknesses, or secret spaces. And now your access to such information isn't unlimited. If obtaining or using the information gets you in trouble with law, the guild can't shield you from the repercussions.
Yeah, it could be bad.
You also get spells added to your spell list from this background, and we'll list them as you level up. Now, if you haven't read the Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica, you can find it online. The flavor is really good if you're a Magic the Gathering player. Warforged aren't a race in Ravnica, but I'd allow it as a DM. And then if your DM doesn't, just find or build a background that gets you the skills you need. And for starting equipment, we're going to go with a short sword for your melee attacks, for now, a shield, and scale mail. We'll want to get half-plate as soon as possible. For range, we'll have our spells, but if you want to take a light crossbow, go for it. Take a Dungeoneer's pack and get your Tinker's tools and your Thieves' tools.
Starting off at first level, we went Artificer. You can choose from 2 skills from the Artificer list. We took Perception and History. We get the ability Magical Tinkering. You learn how to invest a small spark of magic into mundane items. To use this ability, you must have Thieves' tools or Artisan tools in your hand. You then touch a tiny non-magical object as an action and give it one of the following magical properties of your choice. The object sheds bright light in a 5-foot radius and dim light within another 5 feet. Whenever tapped by a creature, the object emits a recorded message that can be heard up to 10 feet away. You utter the message when you bestow this property to the object, and the recording can't be more than 6 seconds long. The object, and next is the object continually emits your choice of an odor or a non-verbal sound, waves, chirping, wind, or something along those lines. The chosen phenomenon is perceivable up to 10 feet away. And a static visual effect appears on one of the object's surfaces. This effect can be a picture, up to 25 words of text, lines, and shapes, or a mixture of these elements as you like. The chosen property lasts indefinitely. As an action, you can touch an object and end the property early. You can bestow magic on multiple objects, touching 1 object each time you use this feature, though a single object can't bear more than 1 property at a time. The maximum number of objects you can affect with this feature at one time is equal to your intelligence modifier, minimum of 1 object. If you try to succeed the maximum, the oldest property ends immediately, and the new property then applies. Now for spells. First off, from the Is It background, we get a few spells added to our list. For cantrips, we get Produce Flame and Shocking Grasp. For first level, we get Chaos Bolt, Create and Destroy Water, and Unseen Servant. At first level, we get 3 prepared spells, and we have 2 cantrips known and 2 first level spell slots. For cantrips, take Firebolt and Guidance. There are so many great cantrips that Artificers can take, so make sure you pick the right one because you can only change your cantrips around when you level. For our prepared spells, take Absorb Elements, Catapult, or Chaos Bolt. They are both good choices, and Chaos Bolt is just fun to use. And Detect Magic. If your party doesn't have a dedicated healer, take Cure Wounds instead of Detect Magic. The number of spells you can prepare a day is equal to your Intelligence modifier plus half your Artificer level, rounded down. You can change them after a long rest. Your spell DC is going to be 8 plus your proficiency bonus plus Intelligence modifier, and your spell attack is equal to your proficiency bonus plus your Intelligence modifier.
And now second level is going to be the second level of Artificer. We get 4 infusions that we can use, and we can infuse 2 items. For infusion, take Enhanced Defense, Replicate Magic Item, Repeating Shot, and Enhanced Weapon. Whenever you gain a class level, you can replace one of your infusions with a new one. You can infuse an item whenever you finish a long rest. You can touch a magical, non-magical object and imbue it with one of your Artificer infusions, turning it into a magic item. An infusion works on only certain kinds of objects, as specified in the description in the infusion. If the item requires attunement, you can attune yourself to it the instant you infuse the item. Now, if you decide to tune the item later, you must do it using the normal process. Now, your infusion remains in an item indefinitely, but when you die, the infusion vanishes after a number of days equal to your Intelligence modifier, at least 1 day. The infusion also vanishes if you replace your knowledge of the infusion, and you must touch each of the objects, and each of your infusions can only be in one object at a time. Moreover, no object can bear more than one of your infusions at a time. If you try to exceed your maximum number of infusions, the oldest infusion ends, and then the new infusion applies. And if an infusion ends on an item that contains other things, like a bag of holding, its contents harmlessly appear in and around the space. Also, we can prepare another first level spell, giving us 4. Take one that we mentioned before. We can use one of the objects we infused as our spellcasting focus, so we no longer need to hold our Thieves' Tools or Tinker's Tools when we're casting. And for third level, we're going to take third level of Artificer, and we're going to get our Artificer specialty. And we took Armor. First, we get Tools of the Trade. You gain proficiency with heavy armor. You also get proficiency with Smith's Tools. And if you already have Smith's Tools, you can get a proficiency with one other type of tools of your choice. Next, you get Arcane Armor. As an action, you can turn a suit of armor that you're wearing into Arcane Armor, provided you have Smith's Tools in your hand. And you gain the following benefits while wearing this armor. If the armor normally has a strength requirement, the Arcane Armor lacks this requirement for you. You can use the Arcane Armor as a spellcasting focus for your Artificer spells, and the armor attaches to you and can't be removed against your will. It also expands to cover your entire body, although you can retract or deploy the helmet as a bonus action. And the armor replaces any missing limbs, and they function identically to a body part it's replacing. And you can doff or don this armor as an action, but as a Warforged, you probably can't.
Yeah.
The armor continues to be Arcane Armor until you don another suit of armor or you die.
Also, when you customize your Arcane Armor, when you do so, choose one of the following armor models: Guardian or Infiltrator. The model you choose gives you some special benefits while you wear it. Each model includes a special weapon. When you attack with that weapon, you can add your Intelligence modifier instead of your Strength or Dexterity to the attack and damage rolls. You can change the armor's model whenever you finish a short or long rest, provided that you have Smith's Tools in hand. Guardian, you design your armor to be in the front lines of conflict. It has the following features: Thunder Gauntlet. Each of the armor's gauntlets counts as a simple melee weapon while you aren't holding anything in it. It deals a 1d8 thunder damage on a hit, and a creature hit by the gauntlets has disadvantage on attack rolls against targets other than you until the start of your next turn, as the armor magically emits a distracting pulse when the creature attacks someone else. And it gets a defensive field. As a bonus action, you gain temporary hit points equal to your level in this class, replacing any temporary hit points you already have. You lose those temporary hit points if you doff the armor. You can use this bonus action a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, and you will regain all expended usages when you finish a long rest. The Infiltrator is you customize your armor for subtle undertakings. It has the following features: lightning launcher. A gem-like node appears on one of your armored fists or on your chest, your choice. It counts as a simple ranged weapon with a normal range of 90 feet and a long range of 300 feet. And it deals a 1d6 lightning damage on a hit. Once on each of your turns, when you hit a creature with it, you can deal an extra d6 lightning damage to that target. You get powerful steps. Your walking speed increases by 5 feet. And you also get dampening field. You have advantage on dexterity stealth checks if the armor normally imposes disadvantage on such checks. The advantage and disadvantage cancel each other out as normal. For this build, we will be using Guardian for the Thunder Gauntlets mostly. Another feature we get here is right tool for the job. You've learned how to produce exactly the tools you need. With these tools or artisan tools in hand, you can magically create one set of artisan tools in an unoccupied space within 5 feet of you. The creation requires 1 hour of uninterrupted work, which can coincide with a short or long rest. Though the product of magic, the tools are non-magical and they vanish when you use this feature again. For spells, we get 2 from the armorer that don't count against our prepared spells, but they still take up spell slot when you cast them. Magic Missile and Thunder Wave. We also get another first level spell slot, giving us a total of 3 right now. 4th level, we went 4th level of Artificer. We get an ability boost, and we will gladly put it on our intelligence, making it 18. We can prepare another spell here, giving us a 5 now. You can take Detect Magic now, since it might come in handy during the campaign when you don't have the time to cast it as a ritual.
Then 5th level will be 5th level's Artificer. From Armor, we get an extra attack, giving us 2, and we get 2 more spells. That don't count against our prepared spells: Shatter and Mirror Image. We now have 2nd level spell slots, and a few good choices be Blur, Enlarge, Reduce, mostly for the Enlarge, Invisibility, and Lesser Restoration. And from the Izzet background, we get Heat Metal and Rope Trick added to our spell list.
Yep.
And for 6th level, we'll be jumping to Fighter for a few levels. At 1st level, we get a fighting style, and we took Defense, giving us +2 our armor class while we're wearing armor, which we're always wearing armor. We also get the Second Wind feature. On our turn, we can use a bonus action to regain hit points equal to D10 plus our fighter level. And once we use this feature, we must finish a short or long rest before we can use it again. And at 7th level, we'll be getting 2nd level fighter. We get our Action Surge. On our turn, we can take 1 additional action. And once we use this feature, we must finish a short or long rest before we can use it again. And starting at 17th level, we can use it twice before rest, but only once on the same turn. Now 8th level is 3rd level fighter. We get our martial archetype, and we're taking Rune Knight. We get Giant's Might. As a bonus action, we magically gain the following benefits, which last for 1 minute. If we're smaller than large, we become large, along with anything we're wearing. And if we lack the rune, we become large, our size doesn't change. We have advantage on strength checks and strength saving throws. And once on each of our turns, one of our attacks with a weapon or an unarmed strike can deal an extra d6 damage to the target on a hit. And we can use this feature a number of times equal to our proficiency bonus, and we regain all expended uses when we finish a long rest. And most importantly, we can use magic runes to enhance our gear. You learn 2 runes of our choice, and each time we gain a level in this class, we can replace 1 rune we know with a different one from this feature. When we reach certain levels in this class, we learn additional runes. Whenever we finish a long rest, we can touch a number of objects equal to the number of runes we know, and inscribe a different rune onto each of the objects. To be eligible, an object must be a weapon, a suit of armor, a shield, a piece of jewelry, or something else you can wear or hold in your hand. We're doing parts of our body. The rune remains on an object until we finish a long rest, and an object can bear only 1 of our runes at a time. If a rune has a level requirement, we must be at least that level in this class to learn the rune. And if a rune requires a saving throw, our rune magic save DC equals 8 plus proficiency bonus plus constitution modifier. Now, as a warforged, this seems really cool to me. Your gear is effectively your body, and as an armor, you're enchanting your body, and as a rune knight, you're carving magic runes into yourself to increase your power.
Yeah, it's a really cool concept. The first rune we will take is the Fire Rune. While wearing or carrying an object inscribed with this rune, your proficiency bonus is doubled for any ability check that you make that uses your proficiency with a tool. In addition, when you hit a creature with an attack using this weapon, you can invoke the rune to summon Fiery Shackles. The target takes an extra 2d6 fire damage and must succeed on a strength saving throw or be restrained for 1 minute. While restrained by the shackles, the target takes 2d6 fire damage at the start of each of its turns. The target can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns, banishing the shackles on a success. Once you invoke this rune, you can't use it again until you finish a short or long rest. Our second rune will be the Stone Rune. While wearing or carrying an object inscribed with this rune, you have advantage on insight checks, and you have dark vision out to a range of 120 feet. In addition, when a creature you can see ends its turn within 30 feet of you, you can use your reaction to invoke the rune and force the creature to make a wisdom saving throw. Unless the save succeeds, the creature is charmed by you for 1 minute. While charmed in this way, the creature has a speed of 0 and is incapacitated, descending into a dreamy stupor. The creature repeats the saving throw at the end of each of its turns, ending the effect on a success. When you invoke this rune, you can't use it again until a short or long rest. The Cloud Rune is also a good choice here, but we like the Stone Rune just a little bit more since it gives us dark vision. You also gain proficiency with Smith's tools. You learn to speak and read and write Giant. At 9th level, we're taking 4th level of Fighter, giving us an ability boost, and we can use it to cap our intelligence at 20. For 10th level, we're going back to Artificer. At 6th level Artificer, we get Tool Expertise. Your proficiency bonus is now doubled for any ability check you make that uses your proficiency with a tool. We can take 2 more infusions, and we can infuse 1 more item. Take repulsive shield and resistant armor infusions. You can now replace the enchant weapon infusion with a radiant weapon infusion because you're high enough level to do so. We can prepare another Artificer spell here, giving us 6, so take one that we mentioned before that is level 2 or lower. At 11th level, we take 7th level of Artificer. We get Flash of Genius. You've gained the ability to come up with solutions under pressure. When you or another creature you can see within 30 feet of you makes an ability check or a saving throw, you can use your reaction to add your intelligence modifier to that roll. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your intelligence modifier, minimum of 1. You regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. We get another 2nd level spell slot for a total of 3 now.
And at 12th level, we take 8th level Artificer. We get an ability score boost, and we'll use it on Constitution, making it 18. The saves from our runes is Constitution based, and since our intelligence is already capped, Constitution is all we really need now.
Mm-hmm.
We can prepare another spell giving us 7 a day that are 2nd level lower. If the ones we mentioned before don't meet your needs, See Invisibility, Vortex Warp, and Spider Climb are all really good options too.
Yeah.
Now at 13th level, we'll take 9th level Artificer. We get armor modifications. This is the good part.
Mm-hmm.
You learn how to use your Artificer infusions to specially modify your arcane armor. That armor now counts as separate items for the purchase of your infused item feature. Your armor is the chest piece, you got your boots, your helmet, and the special weapon. And each of these items can bear one of your infusions. And the infusions transfer over if you change your armor's model with the armor model feature. In addition, the maximum number of items you can infuse at once increases by 2, but these extra slots must be part of your arcane armor.
Yeah.
And from armor, we get 2 spells that don't count against the number of spells you can prepare. Hypnotic Pattern and Lightning Bolt, both are really useful.
Yeah.
And we now have 2 3rd level slots. And here are a few good 3rd level spell choices. Blink, one of my favorites, Spell Magic, Fly, and Revivify, especially if you don't have a cleric in party.
Yeah.
And from the Izzet background, we get Call Lightning added to our spell list. And 14th level is going to be 5th level Fighter. We get a 2nd attack here, but since we already got it from armor, and they don't stack.
Yeah.
And 15th level, 6th level Fighter. We can get an ability boost, and we're going to use it to cap our Constitution at 20. And at 16th level, we're going to take 7th level Fighter. And from Rune Knight, we get another rune we can use for a total of 3. And we're going to take the Storm Rune. While wearing or carrying an object inscribed with this rune, you have advantage on Arcana checks. And you can't be surprised as long as you aren't incapacitated. And because your Warforged just includes while you're asleep or resting.
Yeah.
In addition, you can invoke the rune as a bonus action to enter a prophetic state for 1 minute or until you're incapacitated. And until the state ends, when you or another creature you can see within 60 feet of you makes an attack roll, a saving throw, or an ability check, you can use your reaction to cause the roll to have advantage or disadvantage. Once you invoke this rune, you can't do so again until you finish a short or long rest.
Yeah, that's a game changer right there.
Yeah.
We also get Runic Shield. You learn to invoke your rune magic to protect your allies. When another creature you can see within 60 feet of you is hit by an attack roll, you can use your reaction to force the attacker to re-roll the d20 and use the new roll. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus. You can regain all expended usages when you finish a long rest. With this ability in the Storm Moon, you can change the outcome of any fight that isn't going your way. 17th level is going to be 8th level of fighter. Since our 2 important stats are already capped, and you should have half plate by now, so you don't need improving your dexterity. It won't help your AC. Let's take a feat. The Shield Master feat is perfect for us. You gain the following benefits while you are wielding a shield. If you take an attack action on your turn, you can use a bonus action to try to shove the creature within 5 feet of you with your shield. If you aren't incapacitated, you can add your shield AC bonus to the dexterity saving throws you make against the spell with a harmful effect that only targets you. If you are subjugated to the effect of that allows you to make a dexterity saving throw to take only half damage, you can use your reaction to take no damage if you succeed on a saving throw, imposing your shield between yourself and the source of the effect. Pretty much just like evasion.
Yeah.
18th level, we're going back to Artificer to finish this build. At 10th level of Artificer, we get Magic Item Adept, and you achieve a profound understanding of how to use magic and make magic items. You can attune up to 4 magic items at once now, and if you create a magic item with the rarity of common or uncommon, it takes you a quarter of the normal time, and it costs half as much of the usual gold. We get 2 more infusions for a total of 8, and we can infuse 1 more item for a total of 4. Take Boots of the Winding Path and a Helm of Awareness. You finally get another cantrip known, and I like Thorn Whip here. It does okay damage, but I want to pull the target closer to me so I can hit it twice with my Thunder Gauntlets, and as a bonus action, I can shove it. We can also prepare another spell here, giving us a total of 8 that we can prepare a day. Take one that we mentioned before, that is 3rd level or lower. At 19th level, we're going with 11th level of Artificer. We get the spell storing item ability. You can now store a spell in an object whenever you finish a long rest. Excuse me. You can touch 1 simple or martial weapon or 1 item that you can use as a spellcasting focus, and you can store a spell in it, choosing a 1st or 2nd level spell from your spell list that requires an action to cast. It doesn't have to be one that you prepared for the day. While holding the object, a creature can take an action to produce the spell's effects from it, using your spellcasting ability modifier. If the spell requires concentration, the creature must concentrate. The spell stays in the object until it's been used a number of times equal to twice your intelligence modifier, minimum of twice, or until you use this feature again to store a spell in another object. We get another 3rd level spell slot for a total of 3.
Yep. And at 20th level will be 12th level of Artificer. We get an ability boost or a feat here. And there are 2 good choices for feats. First, the lucky feat's good for everything. You have 3 luck points, and whenever you make an attack, roll, an ability check, or saving throw, you can spend 1 luck point to roll an additional d20, and then you can choose to spend 1 of your dice after you roll a die, but before the outcome is determined. You can also spend 1 luck point when an attack roll is made against you. Roll a d20 and then choose whether the attack uses the attacker's roll or yours. If more than 1 creature spends a luck point to influence the outcome of a roll, the points cancel each other out, and so you don't roll any extra dice. And you regain your expended luck points when you finish a long rest. Or you can take the Magic Initiative feat. Choose a class: Bard, Cleric, Druid, Sorcerer, Warlock, or Wizard, and you learn 2 cantrips of your choice from that class's spell list. In addition, you choose 1 1st level spell to learn from that same list. Using this feat, you can cast the spell once at its lowest level, and you must finish a long rest before you can cast it in this way again. And your spellcasting ability for those spells depends on the class you chose. Charisma for Bard, Sorcerer, Warlock, Wisdom for Cleric or Druid, or Intelligence for Wizard. And of course, we'll be taking Wizard spells since Int is our no stat. Yeah. And now my favorite part of this build is the flavor of it. You are the perfect robot fighting machine. You have turned your body into both armor and weapon, like a techno monk. Yeah. Since we have cantrips for range attacks, we don't need any gear at all. However, we can use martial weapons, so if you want to grab a heavy crossbow and put the repeating weapon infusion on it, go for it. You have pretty good dexterity. Also, your ability to craft items can be really powerful depending on how your DM handles downtime. You could have an assortment of useful common and uncommon items for you and your party. And I also like that we only need 2 stats. Our casting stat is also our attack stat, and our runes use Constitution, which is great to have maxed out. Yeah. Lastly, our armor class is through the roof. With a defense style, plus being a warforged, plus enchantments on your armor and shield, you'll have an armor class of at least 23, probably more. And Shield Master gives you some protection from damaging spells as well. This is a great tank that can use runes to lock an enemy down, and armor class to avoid damage, and a pretty solid amount of hit points for a caster. You can also deal some pretty consistent damage with both your fists and your spells. And on a final note, the Spelljammer setting is coming out soon. And while I haven't seen the official stats on the races from that, I'm guessing this build would work pretty great with an Autonome as well.
Ooh, yeah, that sounds fun. Thank you for watching, and we hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, comments, or build ideas, please leave them in the comments section below. Next week, we'll be adding another build to our Zoo Crew party, so look forward to that. Also, we have a build request from Brandon Perez. They want us to build a Path of the Beast Rune Knight build, so we'll be doing that one after the Zoo Crew, so we'll let you know. But until then,
Cheers!
Cheers!